Hello, happy Wednesday, 6th graders. Sorry I can't be there for you today. I've got quite a bit of a headache, so I would appreciate if you were on your best behavior for the sub, like I know you always are. So if you have reached this video, that means that you have taken your LTC and it is turned in, and you have turned in that green homework assignment that I assigned on Monday. So for today, we're going to just go over 3 quick questions together through this ed puzzle, and then you're going to get work time on your homework. Your homework today is 5 questions. It is problems 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so we're going to start chapter 9, and we are going to be talking about unit rates. You had a homework question, I think last week, that was a little bit more challenging. It was about the bikes, like if you had 2 people making 10 bikes in every 8 hours, how much can one person make, or something like that. That was definitely a preview to this lesson. So again, we are comparing rates. We are talking about how quickly or slowly something is happening. So for example, like miles per hour, right? You can drive 60 miles per 1 hour. That would be an example of a rate. Okay, so for number 1, remember I want you to be taking notes with me. It says the 6th graders at Shasta Middle School are planning a class trip to Washington, D.C. They need to raise enough money for all 146 graders to travel, so they have lots of work to do. So we are going to be focusing on these 4 different types of fundraisers: cookie sales, car wash, recycling, and yard work. And if you look, it's awfully hard to compare them right now, because we can see the time and expected profit for each fundraiser. But if you look, the timing is very different on each of the fundraisers, so it's hard to compare. So when we're trying to compare different like objects or scenarios, and they are represented in different amounts of times, we need to do something to make it easy to compare, right? If we had a problem like I'm able to pick 50 apples over 2 days, but somebody else is able to pick 1,000 over 40 or whatever it might be, it's hard to compare because the timing is so different. So one of the things that we're going to do is we are going to talk about a unit rate. A unit rate is how much it will be happening per 1. So in this case, we are comparing weeks. We want to figure out how much profit each fundraiser will make in 1 week. So if we start with cookie sales, in 3 weeks, we can make $500. In 1 week, we got to figure out how much money that would be. This is a strategy that I taught my 7th graders. To get from 3 to 1, we have to divide that by 3, which means that I also need to divide 500 by 3. So for cookie sales, the approximate profit in 1 week would be roughly 166.67 cents. For car washes, again, we're going to do a similar thing. We have in 4 weeks, they can make 700. We're trying to figure out how much they can make in 1 week. So we're going to divide that 700 by 4, which would be $175. Okay, so I'll just write it over here to the side. Cookie sales is 166.67 cents. Car washes is 175. Recycling is a little bit trickier because we've got a fraction. So how I would go about doing this, I'm trying to make it 1 whole week, and 3/5 doesn't really go into 1 whole nicely. So if 3/5 is equal to 85, what I would do is I would figure out how much 1/5 is. Again, I'm just dividing it by 3. 85 divided by 3 would be $28.33, but that's just 1/5. I'm trying to figure out how much it would be in 1 whole, so I'm going to take that times 5, which would be for recycling $141.67. And last but not least, yard work. We've got 2 weeks. is $320. 1 week, we're just going to divide by 2, which would be $160. So all of these values over here are per week, so it's a lot easier to compare the fundraising. So it says, how much will the class members earn if they spend 6 weeks doing yard work? So we know for 1 week of yard work that it's going to be $160 worth of profit. For 6 weeks of yard work, what do you think we're going to have to multiply that 160 by to get our answer here? We're going to have to multiply it by 6, which would equal $960. For the 6 weeks doing a car wash, 1 week for a car wash is $175. So to find 6 weeks for the car wash, we're going to multiply that by 6 to get an answer of $1,050. So, how much money, if you were trying to do this fundraiser, which one would you pick? If you had to work for 6 weeks, would you rather do the yard work where you make $960, or would you rather do the car wash where you make $1,050? Okay, for B, it says how much money would the class earn if they recycled bottles and cans during 3 weeks of school? So if you look up here at recycling, we know that for 1 week, they can make $141.67. To figure out how much 3 weeks would be, we're going to take that times 3, which would equal $425. At your notes, the cookies was $166. Continuing on with a similar question, it says we are now deciding between either selling cookies or holding car washes. Those are the 2 types of fundraisers. So if we looked back at our original problem, for the cookies, we had a unit rate or 1 week price of $166.67. For the car wash, we had a unit rate or 1 week value of $175. So your task, we're going to use this to determine which fundraiser do you think they should do. So which fundraiser, if you were a student trying to raise money, which one would you rather do? Would you rather sell cookies and make $166.67 per week, or would you rather do a car wash and make $175 per week? Well, if I were you, I want more money, so I would pick the car wash fundraiser. If you look at 60. All right, here is our last question together, problem 7. Thank you for following along and taking notes. We will definitely be continuing to practice this skill for the rest of the week. So the 7th graders are now looking at the data. They had information, though, about another fundraiser, which would be selling lemonade. They could earn $65 every 2 days selling lemonade. Keep in mind that we're just talking about 5-day weeks because we're looking at like a school week. So if they can make $65 doing lemonade for 2 days, how could we figure out how much money they could make in 1 day? What strategy would you use to figure this out? Hopefully you saw that we could divide it by 2, which would give you an answer of $32.50 per day. Now we're trying to compare, though. Would you rather raise money for doing the lemonade, or would you rather sell cookies? Remember that the unit rate for selling cookies is $500 for every 3 weeks. So again, we were talking about a unit rate of 1 week, which is 5 days. So let's find that for doing the lemonade. If 1 day is $32.50, how could I figure out how much money they will earn in 5 days? What strategy could I use here to figure out how much money they will make in 5 days? Hopefully you saw that we could times it by 5. So if you do $32.50 times the 5 days, you would get an answer of $162.50. That's for selling lemonade in 1 week. If we go back to the cookie problem, 7 cents. So 1 week for lemonade. 1 week lemonade, I'll just abbreviate, is $162.50. 1 week for the cookies is $166.67. So if you were a student, which activity would you raise money faster? The answer to this one was doing the cookie fundraiser. You're going to make about an extra $4 per week using this strategy. You can skip 7B for now. We will talk about this one when I get back on Thursday. All right, your homework today is 5 questions starting on page 396. I requested that my sub is making sure that you are being productive, and if you are not, I did instruct them to write down names of students who are not choosing to use their time well. So please make sure that you are. We will discuss more of this on Thursday, so if you're still feeling a little stuck after this lesson, don't panic. We will continue to work this week. Good luck. Can't wait to see those great sub reviews.